Title: What if your mind is creating reality? The quantum truth behind your thoughts. Everything you've been told about reality might just be wrong. You think you're just a brain in a body, floating through space on a rock called Earth. But what if your thoughts don't just live in your head? What if they're out there, rippling through the universe, shaping your reality in ways you've never imagined? We're not talking science fiction. We're talking science, real science, and ancient philosophy, merging in a way that may completely shift how you see yourself and the world around you. Let's start with a basic idea. You're not separate from the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself through you. And that's not just poetic fluff. It's a concept being backed by modern quantum physics. See, in the tiniest parts of existence, the quantum world, everything is weird. Particles blink in and out of existence. They appear to be in two places at once, and more importantly, they're connected no matter the distance. This is called quantum entanglement. Now, stay with me. Imagine two particles born together, sharing the same quantum DNA, now split them apart by miles, light years even. Change one and the other responds instantly, not after a delay. Instantly. It's as if space and time don't even exist between them. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. But it's not spooky anymore. It's verified. So what does that have to do with you? Everything. Because you're made of those same particles. Your brain, your heart, your thoughts, all of it. Quantum. All of it. Connected to the greater field of energy that makes up the universe. Now, here's where things get wild. If particles can be connected like that, what about you and your reality? There's growing evidence, both scientific and philosophical, that your thoughts affect the world around you. Not just metaphorically, literally. The double-slit experiment proves that the act of observing a particle changes its behavior, meaning that consciousness influences matter. Think about that. You don't just live in the universe, you're interacting with it all the time, like a two-way mirror. You think, you feel, you intend, and something shifts. Not always in big dramatic ways, but subtly, energetically, repeatedly. Now let's connect the dots with ancient philosophy. The Stoics believed that your perception is your reality, not what happens to you, but how you interpret it. They weren't quantum physicists, but they were onto something. Modern science is now catching up, showing us that your mindset isn't just personal, it's universal. And here's where things get even deeper. The subconscious mind, the part of your mind that never sleeps, that takes in everything, that stores your beliefs, fears, patterns. It's like a broadcasting tower, constantly sending out signals, frequencies into the quantum field. Studies from the Heart Math Institute reveal that your heart, yes, your physical heart, generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet around you. That field changes based on how you feel. Joy, fear, gratitude, shame. Each emotion sends out a different vibration. And those vibrations, they're picked up by the world around you. So if your subconscious is filled with fear, self-doubt, and scarcity, guess what you attract? More of the same. But if you reprogram that subconscious with clarity, confidence, abundance, you begin to resonate at a different frequency. And like a magnet, you start pulling in new experiences. It's not magic, it's resonance. And it's happening whether you're aware of it or not. Now, you might be thinking, if it's that simple, why isn't everyone living their dream life? Good question, because most people are trying to change the world outside of them. They hustle, they grind, they chase success, but they ignore the internal signals they're constantly sending out. Here's the kicker. 95% of your behavior is driven by your subconscious. And that programming, It was mostly installed before you turned 7 years old. Let that sink in. You're trying to build a new life with a mindset coded by a first grader. Not because you're weak, but because no one ever taught you how to rewire it. So what's the solution? You start going inward. You stop trying to force the external, and you begin to shift the internal. Because the universe isn't responding to your words, it's responding to your vibration. And vibration is just a fancy word for how you think and feel repeatedly. Repetition rewires. Emotion charges the signal, and intention directs it. But here's where it gets even more mind-blowing. There's something called the observer effect, a cornerstone in quantum mechanics. When scientists observe particles in the double-slit experiment, the particles behave differently than when they're not observed. Let's break that down. Just looking at something changes it. So if the mere act of observation can collapse a wave of potential into a fixed reality, what happens when you observe yourself? When you bring conscious attention to your thoughts, your actions, your desires, you're collapsing your potential into reality. Now, let's connect this to a concept from Eastern philosophy, the self as the witness. In Vedanta and Buddhism, there's the idea that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches your thoughts. That detached observer inside you, that's the true self, timeless, infinite, pure awareness. So when quantum physics says the observer changes the outcome, and ancient philosophy says the self is the observer, it's not just a poetic idea, it's a formula. The more consciously you witness your life, the more you change it, from the inside out. And that brings us to one more crucial piece of this puzzle, the field. Scientists like Dr. Joe Dispenza and researchers from the Institute of Noetic Sciences talk about the quantum field as a sea of infinite potential. Everything you want already exists in wave form. It's just waiting for you to tune in. Your thoughts are the signal. Your emotions are the amplifier. Your belief system? That's the dial. So if you're stuck in a pattern of doubt, lack, fear, you're tuned into a very specific channel. But change the dial, change your beliefs, and suddenly you're accessing new possibilities. Not by force, but by frequency. Added section, bridging to daily life. Now, let's ground this. You might be thinking, cool, but I still have bills to pay and rent due. Totally fair. This isn't about sitting on a mountain humming mantras while the world burns. This is about alignment in motion. When your inner world is clear, when your beliefs match your desires, you take smarter action. You're not forcing life, you're flowing with it. Think about athletes in the zone, artists in flow, entrepreneurs on a hot streak. They're not guessing, they're in tune. With themselves, with the field, with something bigger. And that's not an accident, that's coherence. When your heart, mind, and body are aligned, your whole system becomes a transmitter. You don't just get lucky, you become magnetic. And that kind of alignment? It's available to everyone, including you. So here's the part they don't teach in school. You've been manifesting your entire life. You just didn't know you were doing it. Your current reality is a reflection of past intentions, beliefs, and feelings. That job, that relationship, that bank account. It's not punishment or reward. It's feedback. And feedback isn't final. It's just information. Change the input. Get a new output. But that starts with taking responsibility. Not in a guilt trip, everything is your fault way, but in an empowering, you're more powerful than you were led to believe way. Every thought is a vote. Every emotion is a vibration. Every belief is a lens. And your reality? That's the sum of those frequencies, reflected back to you like a cosmic mirror. So ask yourself, what am I broadcasting today? And more importantly, what do I want to tune into tomorrow? Because the universe isn't out to get you. It's not testing you. It's not playing games. It's responding to your energy, to your awareness, to the version of yourself you choose to embody. Socrates once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Today, we might say, the unobserved life is not being created consciously. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of patterns. But creation doesn't mean control. It means awareness, alignment, and surrender. You're not here to force the universe. You're here to dance with it, to listen, to feel, to flow. And when you do, when you tune your inner frequency to the life you desire, you don't just attract it, you become it. So here's the question. Will you keep sleepwalking through someone else's version of reality? Or will you wake up, tune in, and finally remember what you were always meant to do? Not just exist, but create. Not just survive, but align. Not just wish, but become. Because reality doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. Want to see it in action? Ever been in a negative mood and everything that could go wrong does? Spilled coffee, missed the train, argument with a stranger. Coincidence? Nope. It's your frequency in full effect. Flip it. Ever been lit up with energy, optimism, purpose, and suddenly opportunities just appear? People help you. Synchronicities unfold. It's not luck, it's alignment. This isn't about delusion. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about aligning your internal state with the reality you want to create. Because quantum physics and ancient wisdom agree on one thing. You are not separate from the universe. You are an active participant in it. So stop waiting, stop doubting, and start remembering. Reality isn't something that happens to you. It's something that responds to you. And the moment you realize that, you don't just change your thoughts, you change your world.